You know what one of my biggest pet peeves is, as a long-term cancer survivor who's been NED for 10 years and an early onset colorectal cancer survivor who was diagnosed at stage 3C because she was misdiagnosed by over 20 doctors over an extended period. Like, you know what my biggest pet peeve is? Doctors who don't listen. Like, doctors who don't listen are the reason why people like me, and probably people like you, if you were diagnosed with colon cancer before the age of 50, were misdiagnosed and were diagnosed at later stages. Doctors who don't listen cost lives. Doctors who don't listen make us suffer more than we have to. I just encountered another doctor who doesn't listen. I was so excited because I finally got a palliative pain management team. I thought this was going to be game-changing. It was going to help my chronic pain. It's going to help my pain while I'm in the hospital. It'll help me manage my pain. They'll help me manage my pain when I get home. The doctor didn't even listen to me about my freaking pain. So why are you a pain management specialist if you're not going to help me manage my pain, but you're going to tell me how to manage my pain? I know my body. I know that I have gastroparesis. I know that my stomach takes way longer to process oral medication. Not only that, but oral medication tends to make me nauseous because of the gastroparesis, and it makes my gastroparesis worse. And these doctors told me that the best thing for me is to give me oral meds. Oral meds don't help my pain and make me nauseous. They make me suffer because it takes hours before they work. Whereas an IV medication is immediate comfort and immediate pain relief. As many of you know, the IV goes straight into your veins and it goes through your body and it kills the pain. Yes, the IV medication tends to wear off faster than the oral pain medication. But in my case, as an individual, my body is not like everyone else's. So you can't treat me like the regular patient that you come across. I have gastroparesis, endometriosis, and IBS. Those are 3 debilitating, chronic, yet totally invisible illnesses. And I'm having a flare of them right now. And I need, the endometriosis is beyond painful. I also have a small bowel obstruction. So I'm in pain. And I told this pain doctor, I said, the oral pain meds don't work for me. They take forever to kick in. So I end up needing IV pain meds because the oral pain meds haven't worked yet, even after an hour or 2. And she said that she insists that I take oral pain meds because I can't take IV meds at home. I said I wouldn't be having this at home. This is a hospital situation. I'm having a small bowel obstruction and a flare of my endometriosis. This is the hospital situation. This is not what I would be dealing with at home. So you can't treat me with oral meds saying, oh, you can only do oral meds at home. In this hospital situation, I need immediate pain relief. I'm in really bad pain. The oral pain meds, they don't work. It's like I don't feel anything. The pain is still there. I'm still suffering. And instead of giving me the IV meds more often, they stretch them out. The doctor literally said that she agrees with the other pain management doctor and that I need to do oral meds, and that this is her recommendation based on other patients. And I was like, I'm not other patients. I asked her if she could write a note to the doctor saying that I, as the patient, would like the IV meds because the oral meds don't really work for me due to other situations in my body, and I know my body. And she literally said, I cannot recommend that to the doctor. I said, I'm not asking for you to recommend it to the doctor. I'm asking you to write a note saying that the patient is describing this and requesting this. She wasn't even willing to do that. So my nurse came in, and this is why I have a lot of love for nurses. Shout out to Yvette. Shout out to Deborah. What y'all do is God sent. Without nurses, I would have given up a long time ago. Nurses help you in emotionally, not just with giving you medication. And they also try to solve the issue. The doctor gives you medication and timing and whatever, and the nurse actually has to figure out with the patient what works out for the patient. And a good nurse takes time to do that. And especially during COVID, where I can't have any visitors, it's especially lonely. But these nurses have gone above and beyond to spend a little 5 minutes just chit-chatting with me, just so I don't feel lonely, just so I'm not talking to the walls. I am upset, but the nurse is actually out. She's about to give me my pain meds, IV, because she realizes, yes, that's what works for me. And she said she's going to talk to the charge nurse, and she's going to talk to my pain management doctors, and she's going to see what they can do for me and if they'll listen to my recommendations, because it is my body. And I know my body. And yeah. So thank you.
No problem, sweetie.
So yeah, I know my body, and I'm grateful that the nurse is willing to listen and talk to the doctor on my behalf and be my advocate. It's really important to be your own advocate, but also to have nurses and doctors who are willing to advocate for you and figure things out. I am not a typical patient. No one is a typical patient. Everyone is different, and they need to realize that every patient is different. And so what might work for the average patient, you can't put that on another patient. And that's what I want to say. That's my little vent and rant for the day. Doctors who don't listen. And I've encountered 2 of them at this hospital, one on Christmas Eve and then one today. And what's the point of coming into my room as a pain management specialist and you're not willing to discuss my pain with me? You're going to just tell me how you're going to manage my pain. Like, really? Don't you think I know what would work? Why don't you ask me what works for me? Why don't you ask me what gives me relief and then try to work with that instead of telling me what's going to give me relief? Because those things don't work. And I've been on almost everything, and that's the issue. My body is now tolerant, has a high tolerance for pain. It processes pain differently. I don't feel pain the way normal people do. By the time I do feel pain, it's normally a 10, which would be a 20 for somebody else. I have a really high tolerance for pain meds because of all the pain meds that I've been on over the years. Having cancer and not knowing, and then after my cancer diagnosis and through treatment, I've been on Oxy, I've been on all these things. And, the other peeve that I have is that this opioid epidemic is not affecting the people who are getting the drugs on the street. They're still getting their drugs on the street. You know who it's affecting? It's affecting patients like me. I can't get pain meds that would work for me because other people use them as drugs to get high. When I don't even want to take them unless I'm in pain. I don't like how they make me feel. But I do like the fact that they get rid of my pain. I just want to be pain-free. Why can't I be pain-free? After 10 years, I just want to know what it feels like to not be sick. I'm tired of being sick. I'm sick and tired of being sick. I'm tired and sick of being sick and tired. And that's my thing for today. I'm sure a lot of people understand. And I know you can relate. And it's really frustrating. And this isn't just for people going through treatment or people who are survivors like me. This is also for people who haven't been diagnosed. People aren't diagnosed because doctors don't listen. We know our body. I knew something was wrong when I was 17 and I was having stomach aches every morning and I had blood in my stool. Nobody listened. You know, I knew something was wrong when I started having pain and nausea and vomiting and I was anemic and I had a fever. I knew something was in my body trying to kill me, but nobody would listen. I knew it wasn't my uterus or my ovaries or my vagina giving me problems, my reproductive parts, but nobody would listen. My symptoms were digestive, but nobody would listen. And nobody would look at my digestive system because I guess women only create babies. We don't eat, right? So I know this has been a long video. It's been like 10 minutes of me talking and ranting, but this is an important discussion and this is an important thing. And this is why we have to advocate for ourselves and others, because doctors don't listen. And the only way to get them to listen is to advocate for yourself and make yourself heard. And it's okay to do so. So whatever you need to do to be heard, to be listened to, and to be seen, you do it. Medical disparities are real. People do make assumptions of people based on how they look and who they are without knowing them. I've experienced that. I have things in my chart right now that needs to be corrected because of how they tried to make me look as a patient, because of how I look as a person. My reputation as a patient and as an advocate is important to me. I try to be the best patient I can for these nurses because their jobs are hard enough and all they want to do is make us feel better. And they deserve to have a patient who at least tries to smile with them and say thank you and be courteous, even when in pain and suffering. And that's what I try to do. So if a doctor doesn't listen, you need to make sure that you are heard and you are seen. And it is okay to advocate for yourself. It is okay to ask for another doctor. It is okay to speak to your nurse and ask her to advocate on your behalf. There's also patient services at most hospitals or patient advocates. Use those services. If you know something is wrong with your body, or you know something about your body and your doctor's not listening, you need to insist. If you have a car and you know your car, and your car is making a weird sound, and your mechanic is like, your car is fine, wouldn't you say, I know my car, I've been driving it for 10 years? Well, I've been driving this broken down car for 10 years. And I know when the engine needs a little oil. I know when my brakes are squeaking or about to go. And I need new brakes. I know when my tires, when I need new tires. I know my body. I know when something is broken. I know when it needs fixing. And I know how to fix it. And I need doctors to work with me on that. And we all deserve doctors who work with us. So that's my message for the day. I apologize for the long video. I hope you got something out of it. I hope it helped somebody. I hope it let somebody out there know that they're not alone. I just hope that it helps somebody to realize that it's okay to question the doctors. I come from a culture where we don't believe that we can question doctors. But if we don't question doctors, we'll never get answers. That's my message. I just want to thank everybody for your support. These videos are not me trying to get attention. These videos are me being transparent. These videos that I'm sharing and these posts that I'm sharing are me being transparent and speaking for the long-term survivors, because a lot of us feel that we're not relevant. And I went through that. I went through a long period of feeling I'm no longer relevant. I'm no longer needed in the community. And then I realized, you're a 10-year survivor. You're gonna be what Cynthia was for you, who survived 14 years and passed recently. You're gonna be the David Dubin for you. You're gonna be the Candace Henley for you. I'm gonna be that for others, what they have been for me, Grace De La Rosa. They gave me hope and inspiration as long-term survivors when I was going through treatment. And that is what I want to be For people who are going through treatment, for young people who still have been diagnosed, I want you to know the symptoms. I know that once you're diagnosed, like, don't be scared. I was given a really bad prognosis, and I'm alive 10 years later with no recurrence. Miracles do happen. People can be cured of late-stage cancer, even stage 4. So just hold on to hope, hold on to strength, and keep on pushing. And as Trevor Maxwell would say, keep effing going. That's all we can do. So #survivor life. Everyone is surviving life. Everyone is surviving something. And all we can do is to survive and try to thrive as much as we can. And those are my words of hope for today. I really hope I helped somebody. I really hope this reached out to somebody. It's really hard to get peace in the hospital, so I'm sure everybody heard people coming in and going out, people in the hallway. I'm sorry about that, but that's the reality of a hospital. And I'm gonna be real and transparent, and I'm not even gonna edit that out, because it's the realness. And you know, my IV will probably go off at some point, but I just want to be real. I want to be transparent, and I want to represent people like me, and I want to help people to navigate being a young patient, being unheard, being unseen, being underrepresented. I want to help you to know how to get through this, because you will get through this. So keep going, keep pushing, keep surviving, keep thriving, and keep living. Bye until next time.